The MLB All-Star reserves were just announced, and there's a lot of snubs, but none of them compare to my boy, my heart and soul, the love of my life, Taylor freaking Ward. What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB video, and today we're going to be ranting about Taylor Ward getting snubbed for the All-Star Game, and I want this as a thing that I can send to people on Twitter who are in my mentions right now talking shit about my boy Taylor Ward, and I am going to prove to you once and for all that Taylor Ward should be on the All-Star Game. It's not even close. I don't care. A lot of people are talking like, oh, he fell off since he got back from injury. Indisputable evidence coming soon in this video on why Taylor Ward should be on the All-Star team and potentially starting on the All-Star team, if I'm being completely honest. But, you know, we already had the starters. That was the fan vote. That's fine. Taylor Ward has to be on the All-Star team. He might get added later, but the fact that he was not on in the first place was completely disrespectful and shouldn't have happened. We're going to get into that now, but before we do, don't forget to leave a like on this video, help it reach more baseball fans, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily MLB content. I will be with you guys tomorrow talking about all of the biggest snubs and how badly they got snubbed and ranking who got snubbed the most. We'll be talking about that tomorrow, but this video in particular that I'm posting tonight is just about my boy Taylor freaking Ward, bro. He deserved it. Anyways, let's get into the video, start talking about why Taylor Ward deserves to be on the All-Star team. Okay, so we're going to start out on my Twitter here. Shameless plug, NMR Sports 30. Sign up at Thrive Fantasy, one of our sponsors. But this is the list of the reserves for the 2022 AL All-Star team. I'll go through it. We have Yordan Alvarez. Miguel Cabrera was a special selection. We can't complain about that one because it wasn't, voted on by the players or anything. Xander Bogaerts, Jose Ramirez, Jose Trevino, Luis Arias, Andres Jimenez, George Springer, Byron Buxton, Andrew Benintendi, Kyle Tucker, and Julio Rodriguez. Now, there's some other snubs to talk about. We're going to talk about them in my next video. I promise that one will be up, tomorrow morning, maybe like 10 a.m., something like that. But we're going to focus on the outfielders here. George Springer, Byron Buxton, Andrew Benintendi, Kyle Tucker, and Julio Rodriguez. Now, none of these players are bad ball players. I understand, like, for the Royals, Andrew Benintendi kind of had to make it because they don't have anybody else on the team. Byron Buxton's the biggest name on the Twins, but it's not like they had to put him on there. Luis Arias is already on the team. Kyle Tucker is very good. Julio Rodriguez is very good. But let's go over the stats and say, why is Taylor Ward not on this list here? Is Taylor Ward significantly worse than these players? Has he not played enough? Like, what is going on? Why would Taylor Ward not make the All-Star team? Let's go ahead and take a look. So here I have made a list on Fangraphs. We got Julio Rodriguez, Kyle Tucker, Byron Buxton, George Springer, and Andrew Benintendi, the reserves of the All-Star team, matched up with Taylor Ward. Now let's start with wins above replacement. A lot of people like talking about wins above replacement. You can see Taylor Ward right smack dab in the middle, 2.6 wins above replacement, just 1 point below Kyle Tucker and a little bit below Julio Rodriguez as well. But he has a higher wins above replacement than Byron Buxton, George Springer, and Andrew Benintendi, and almost a full point higher than Andrew Benintendi and George Springer. Next up, let's look at WRC+, a very easy stat to measure how good a player's hitting is. Oh, look at that! He is first in WRC+. Interesting. 22 points higher than second place on this list, mind you. Just throw that out there. Maybe he doesn't hit a lot of home runs. Maybe he doesn't hit for power, and they were looking to get some other power hitters on this team. Oh, would you look at that? He's second in slugging percentage. Interesting. Over 100 points higher than Andrew Benintendi. Over 50 points higher than George Springer. A lot higher than Kyle Tucker. Higher than Julio Rodriguez. Just below Byron Buxton. Interesting. Maybe he doesn't get on base or something. Maybe he has some trouble getting on base. He doesn't draw a lot of walks. He doesn't get on. He's first. So he's first in WRC+. He's second in slugging. He's first in on base. Maybe he doesn't hit for average. He's second in batting average? Maybe, okay, he was injured. He was on the injured list twice. He probably just didn't register enough bats to count. Huh. He only has 15 less at-bats than Byron Buxton. I know he has been injured. I know he hasn't been as good as he was earlier in the year. But he is still significantly better than at least two of the guys on this list. He's having a much better year than George Springer. I think he's having a better year than Byron Buxton. I think he's having a better year than Andrew Benintendi, outside of batting average, I guess. The only guy I'd say is having a better year than him on this list would be Julio Rodriguez and arguably Kyle Tucker. I think he's better than everybody else on this list, and I think the numbers prove it. You know, he's not going to have as many home runs because he doesn't have as many at-bats. You know, the same thing that Byron Buxton's dealing with. He has a little bit more 10 more home runs than Taylor Ward, so he has been hitting for more power. But I just don't know. Like, do they only look at runs and RBIs? Like, do they not look at the fact that he is statistically better than almost every single outfielder on this list? Like, do they not look at the fact that he's top three outfielder in pretty much every statistic outside of home runs, RBIs, and runs scored? Like, I understand he hasn't played in as many games, but the fact that Byron Buxton is on the team and he has only played in 4 more games than Taylor Ward, it's not like it's impossible to put Taylor Ward on the All-Star team. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's been a much better hitter across the board than pretty much all 4 of these other guys, all 5 of these other guys. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. I hope he gets added as a reserve. You know, I know Yordan Alvarez is already going to be out with injury. Potentially there'll be some guys. Maybe Altuve doesn't show up again this year, or, you know, who knows what. But as a whole, I just don't understand how Taylor Ward didn't make the All-Star team the first time. We're going to talk more about the other ones tomorrow with like Ty France and Carlos Rodon and all those guys. But how is Taylor Ward not on this list? I don't understand. How is Taylor Ward not on the All-Star team? I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think Taylor Ward should have been on the All-Star team? I want opinions from around the league. Obviously, I'm biased as an Angels fan, but I think that these stats should matter. I understand he doesn't have the most RBIs, mainly because he's a leadoff hitter. He doesn't have the most runs scored, mainly because he has no support behind him. He doesn't have a ton of home runs, but the numbers are there. He's hitting for average. He's getting on base. He is slugging the ball. He has a high WRC+. He doesn't strike out a ton. He walks a ton. Like, I just don't understand. He's having a phenomenal year. How is he not at least, how is he not a reserve on this list? I don't understand. I think he should have been the 3rd starter, but I digress. I'm just a random guy making YouTube videos, getting mad at his camera. I'm not a multi-millionaire baseball player voting for this, or a owner, or whoever the hell else votes for these MLB All-Star Awards, but it's done, man. I'm going to be at the All-Star game. I really want to see Taylor Ward there. I was hoping to get a Taylor Ward All-Star jersey, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get that at this point, so I'll probably just buy another Shohei one, but still, we'll go over the full All-Star ones tomorrow, but I did really want to make this video as soon as I got home. I was out at the movies watching Thor: Love and Thunder. Great movie, by the way, when these All-Star ballots dropped, or when these All-Star reserves dropped, so obviously I was very upset during the movie, but anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Am I just off my marbles here? Am I going crazy, or I feel like I have a solid point here. I feel like I have a very solid case on why Taylor Ward should be on the All-Star team. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Short video, I know, but I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Taylor Ward for the All-Star game.